Supriya Shrinate, I'd like to begin with you. You're asking for a JPC when already the SEBI, stepped in. On the other hand, the RBI issued a statement already asking for a JPC. Do you see this as a pragmatic approach? It's a matter that maybe SEBI should look at. The RBI has already made it clear. The LIC has already given out a statement.
More than pragmatic, that is exactly what needs to be done. There is public sector money, there is people's money, there is taxpayers' money which has been pushed into toxic assets by LIC and the state-owned banks. And questions need to be asked and answered. And let me also go a step further, Preeti, and tell you that indices and global financial institutions across the 7 seas are acting on it. If you have read the S&P and Dow statements pushing out Adani Enterprises overnight from their sustainability index, they say that there are very grave charges. They are reacting to the seriousness of the allegations. But our own regulators, our own government, our own agencies have adopted an ostrich-like approach. I mean, what is LIC's statement? I want to ask you. There's a very simple terminology in the world of finance. It's called mark to market. There is a time value of rupee. If you invest 100 rupees 10 years back in a stock, and 5 years later that money gets to 1,000, but 5 years after that, at the end of 10 years becomes 200, you are not going to celebrate that your money became from 100 to 200. You are going to be worried about how the 1,000 became 200. And that is the question that needs to be asked of the LIC. It is hard-earned money of 30 crore policy holders that they have put in Adani. I mean, are you telling me that one report alone has crashed the stock? No. The fundamentals are weak. The stock is overvalued 82 times. There is round tripping that has happened. There is a web of shell companies.
But Supriya Shrinate, before this particular...
Preeti, just one more point.
Make your point.
Just let me finish one more point. SEBI, the finance minister told the Lok Sabha MP, Ms. Mahua Moitra, in Lok Sabha, that SEBI has started an investigation in July 2021. 18 months still. What has that investigation resulted in? Not a squeak from the government of India when Joe Johnson, Boris Johnson's brother, the director of Elara Capital, had to resign. Dow Jones is taking action, pushing Adani out, and we are behaving as if nothing has happened. Who is answerable to the retail investors? 15 lakh crores has been lost in India's capital markets, and 5 lakh crore of that money is lost by people who have nothing to do with Adani. They never invested in Adani shares.
But Supriya Shrinate, as I bring in our other guests, Supriya Shrinate,
who's answerable to LIC?
You say it's not just one report, there were so many market analysts, but before the report, why is it that they were not seeing what Hindenburg is seeing? Moreover, the whole talk of possibly a hit job, of Hindenburg making these allegations exactly 2 days before the opening of the FPO on January 27th.
I am not someone who's given into policy, on this conspiracy theories. I've covered stock markets, I've covered corporates for about 22 years. And let me tell you, there can be no hit job on a company whose fundamentals are strong. No corporate gets out and tells the world all is well, if really all is well. Nassim Taleb, one of the biggest investors in the world, who's had nothing to do with Adani, has put out a statement saying that when all is well, you don't come across and say that. Quite frankly, the leading monopoly that Mr. Adani has created in airports, ports, food and agriculture, renewable energy, cement.
Okay.
And please remember, Mr. Adani has 10 listed entities in India. He's supposed to list 5 more, all of them intrinsic to the Indian economy. And not a word being spoken on that. Can the economy and investors of LIC, SBI and retail investors in the market go down with Mr. Adani? Is that what the government wants?
But LIC has made it very clear, so has the RBI. But okay, I'm going to come right back to it. I'll also bring in Priyanka Chaturvedi. But before that, Ashwini Mahajan...
What has LIC made clear? LIC should be put in the dock and ask this question.
Right, okay. 1 second. Okay, so Supriya Shrinate, let me allow... Ms. Shrinate, allow me to open up the panel. Ma'am, allow me to open up the panel. Ashwini Mahajan, the fact is, why is it that the Bharatiya Janata Party is refusing, or the government refusing, to actually address the question? The demand of the JPC in Parliament separate, but the sheer fact that Today, in this debate, there is not even a representative of the Bharatiya Janata Party or the government to take any questions. Why the silence?
See, I am no one to talk about what Bharatiya Janata Party is doing or what the Congress is saying. Basically, we must understand that this Hindenburg is a short seller, and they are into the business of the short selling. And the one whose business depends upon the downgrading the shares, reducing the prices of the shares, and then gaining out of it. I fail to understand why wise people are taking these allegations so seriously and making all sorts of things. My friend on the panel, she had also said that Adani has been making assets. You see, she was saying that she is into, the Adani is into airports, it's into so many other things. So what is being done is that more and more assets are being created. We are into say in airports. In such a short span of time, more and more airports were constructed, and that is a real asset.
But what does it take? How does that take away from what the current
idea about economy? What is he talking about?
No, 1 second. No, sir. No, ma'am, please.
What is he talking about?
Mr. Mahajan, how does that take away with the current context of what is taking place right now, what's happening?
That is exactly what I'm saying. Nobody raised questions on those who were burning cash, and investors have lost a lot of money. 70% of the money was lost in Paytm. Approximately 40 to 70% in about tens of companies. Nobody was talking about the overvaluation. So what I'm trying to please tell your panelists not to question the and the way the things are said. It is not in the right way.